out of all the potential movements right now that could be formulating into an answer against current day woke leftism or mainstream, neoliberal hegemony, the dissident right is looking to be the formidable opponent right now, with influencers and figures such as Keith Woods, Nick Fuentes, Joel Davis. You could probably put, Andrew Tate isn't exactly a right-winger, but definitely that same spear. It's kind of adjacent to some of the red pill content that you see, because Nick Fuentes especially has been on a lot of red pill content, along with influencers like John Zerka and Fresh and Fit on YouTube. So these people are looking to, they are definitely shaping up to be a force to be reckoned with in the future. And something that worries me is that if you actually look into these people's ideas about the world, they are incredibly, they have their finger right on the topics, like the way that liberal capitalism creates incentives to justify degenerate behavior. They're also kind of good on like the whole, like, keeping your traditions consistent, and venerating the nuclear family, or at least the family structures that are conducive to a healthy society. Now, the dissident right gets those things correct. However, it gets many, many things blatantly and undemonstrably fucking wrong. Now, it is one of the things that I have a problem with in this dissident right movement, is that you have these very Anglophile, white adjacent people trying to push a racialist agenda, essentially as like an answer against the current globalization crisis. They think that by having an aggressively homogenized culture, that's going to fix the decadence and failure of their own races, that it's the outsiders who are doing things, it's the foreigners, it's the fucking, I don't know, insert Jewish woman patriarchy, it's this fucking thing that's wrong. And something that I don't get with these dissident right people is that they, like Keith Woods, for example, he has some good ideas against materialism and the effects of having a very brute, materialistic worldview when it comes to human issues. Yet he is a ethno-nationalist, which are two of the most fucking materialistic positions that you could hold, political positions that you could hold as a person who claims to be like against materialistic or overly materialistic thought. Nick Fuentes also, he is a half Mexican Catholic who LARPs as some kind of reborn George Rockwell, because he fucking speaks with this almost transatlantic accent, this fake fucking accent, and he has a damn mustache and wears a flannel like a middle-aged freaking suburbanite. But he's literally nothing. He's nothing like Americans back in the day. Protestants used to fucking oppress Catholics, and they used to call Mexicans they still call Mexicans a lot of stuff today. So Nick Fuentes is just all over the fucking place with his identity, and that's the thing. A lot of these people, they have identity crises themselves, and they're trying to put this image that our culture back then was 100% only fucking this 100% of the time, and it's ahistorical. For example, a lot of these people like to use the freaking excuse that the nuclear family is traditional. News fucking flash. For most of human history, Unfortunately, open relationships and polyamory were the norm. Okay? Not polyamory, polygamy. Yeah, worse. Polygamy was the norm. Open relationships were the norm. Concubines, cheating. No. Nuclear families are the alteration, the good alteration. And by making a point that the nuclear family is normal, or somehow like more normal than the fucking polygamist relationship structures that have been going on for thousands of years, then you're creating this false dichotomy where like it's nuclear family versus everything else. No, it's everything else versus the nuclear family. Because the nuclear family is powerful because of its uniqueness. And because of monotheism too. Which, monogamy. When you're polytheistic like how we were in the ancient world, polygamy, polygamist, polytheism. You see what I'm getting at? So yes, polygamy is a lot more normal than the nuclear family structure. And you should insist upon that view of the nuclear family, because then it makes it cool instead of something that's old and decrepit and retrograde. It's not retrograde, it's literally like a fucking innovation. But yeah, another problem that I have with this new sort of thing today is that it's incredibly misogynistic too. Look, I have a saying personally from looking at historical, just from looking at history. If you want to conquer a culture or a nation from the outside in, you conquer their men. If you want to conquer a nation from the inside out, you conquer their women. And the thing about the dissident right is that it doesn't know how to approach the question of what female's role in society is, because it's fucking misogynistic as hell, and it's trying to make women into second-class citizens, which isn't realistic, at least at this point in time. Especially when some people like John Doyle, for instance, he's not even on the dissident right. He's a fucking conservative, but he just released a video for a fucking hour, like basically making like women and homosexuals the main culprits for like literally everything that's wrong with fucking America. And that's the thing about conservatives too. They have this stupid ass fucking sanctimonious, like Karen like hysterical fucking viewpoint of the world where everything is the minority, everything is the foreign fault, everything is the outsider's fault, and that's not fucking real. Half the shit that you came up with in America is conducive to your own fucking downfall. Stop fucking complaining about homosexuals if you're not gonna complain about Michel Foucault, the fucking pedophile, or James Lindsay, not James Lindsay, but yeah, like James Lindsay, who fucking makes like these whole fucking things about queer theory and this and that, and then he goes and then turns around and then fucking makes them about esotericism and spirituality, and it's the spiritualist. Like, that's fucking stupid, bro. Hold liberal capitalism accountable for once. Hold neoliberalism accountable. Like, you got this fucking, like, all these freaking conservatives and all these reactionaries that are just, they exist to fucking point the finger. And at that point, you're no better than a freaking leftist. You're no better than a fucking liberal. At this point, you're just a red-blooded woke. Red, white, and blue woke, or a New Jack fucking woke, or whatever the fuck, the Union Jack woke. You're a fucking nationalistic, racialist, social Darwinistic fucking contard. Like, seriously.